incredible testimonies. If you don't jump out, I may call you out. So who is first tonight? Oh, Maddie.
Hi,
Hey, hey, beautiful. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Incredible, extra, super incredible since you're here. Oh my gosh.
Aw. I'll just give a quick testimony for you. I am actually going to be taking my NCLEX here in a couple weeks, to become a registered nurse. I've finished nursing school. But I feel like so many people love focusing on like the freedom patch. And I mean, it is incredible. I could go off about that. I feel like there's so many testimonies about that already. But for me personally, the peace patch and the focus patch, as a student, as someone who has anxiety, who has PTSD, um, panic attacks, all of those things. All of those things, and then school on top of it. Being in a high-strung job and area. Same thing with my husband. He's a cop and firefighter, and for him, the peace patches just calm us down. The focus patches zone us in. For me, studying for my boards, that's something that I've been using religiously is the focus patch. So they work instantly within like the 10 seconds. I put on a peace patch the other night when my kids were driving me crazy. Um, and literally within like 10 minutes, those like butterflies of like anxiety went away. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is insane. Um, because, I would need like therapy. I mean, therapy is still good, but, like that therapy and talk therapy and talking things out were the only way that like it would actually go away. And like something like that works at the cellular level is insane to me. So that's my testimony for you guys.
Oh my gosh, Maddie, thank you so much for sharing with everybody tonight. I think that is so important. I mean, there's differing levels of stress we can all experience in our lives at different times of day or within different seasons of our life. Nobody wants that feeling of anxiety, of overwhelm, of stress. And now you've got an all natural solution. You heard it from Maddie, and the focus patch, one of my faves too, Maddie, for sure, for sure. I know that when I wear the focus patch, which I've got it on right now, it deletes my ums. I literally am laser focused on what I'm doing, and I'm renowned for being a multitasker and wanting to do a lot of things at the same time. I'm really creative. I love being an entrepreneur. My mind's always thinking about the next thing, and this keeps me really centered. So, you just gave validation to something that is super important, and we didn't cover yet tonight. So, Maddie, we're excited for you and thank you again for sharing. You're
You're so
awesome.
welcome.
You guys, this
Hey,
is life changing. Who's joining? Who's
hey, this is Bernie.
Bernie? How are you, my friend?
Hey, I'm doing good, Cynthia. Good to see you again, girl.
Good to see
It's
you.
been it's been several years, and I'm excited to say that I'm glad I got involved. I'm very excited about the opportunity. Um, and I've been a business owner for the last 8 years, and well, I've always been an entrepreneur. Um, and I love the fact that, I have the ability to share an opportunity and help others if they choose to forge forward and help them be successful. Um, that's a gratifying thing to me. And normally in business that doesn't happen. It's about, okay, let's do it, and um, if you start making more money than me, then something's wrong with the business, right? Well, here we encourage you to make more money than us, right?
Absolutely.
So I want to say that I'm excited about the business opportunity. I mean, I have a company that does well. Um, very well. However, this opportunity is not going to last. Say going to last. I mean, the opportunity is going to be there, but to be first in the opportunity is something that we could only dream of. You and I were first in a couple other different deals, right? So it's a big deal. I'm going to talk about a testimony that my wife had today. Dean, our upline, brought my wife some patches for her mother and father. Her mother's got scoliosis and had never, over the last few years, has always had a hunchback. I mean, severe. And today she was able to stand up almost straight.
Oh my gosh, Bernie. That is amazing.
Almost straight. She sent me pictures of her, and I'm like, oh my God. So what is even more gratifying of the business opportunity is the gratification you get from seeing somebody that has an ailment that has been reduced or subsided or alleviated.
Absolutely, Bernie. I mean, you hit the nail on the head all the way around. We know you're very successful as a business owner, and your testimony to this opportunity is humongous, but it wouldn't exist without this technology and this kind of impact that it's having on people's lives, literally real time. What you witnessed is something that blows us away every day. Now, I've not heard that story, but I've heard similar testimonies, and it brings tears to our eyes every time to be able to be a part of something like this that's literally changing how people live. They feel like they're able to, you know, really start living again. If you're living with pain every day and all of a sudden you start having relief, then you don't realize what you've just been enduring for so long. And the relief is so big. You want to tell everybody. With her mother's story, this is such a absolute testimony to the neurological homeostasis that happens. And when that happens, it leads to a physiological homeostasis. When you balance the way your body is working, then you're able to start functioning. Your body is able to start functioning the way God made it to function. And our bodies will fight off, um, illness. It will heal itself in ways we can't even imagine if we will just give it the right atmosphere, right? The right foundation. And so, oh my gosh, Bernie, we're celebrating with you. What a great testimony in both directions. Thank you so much for sharing again. We're so excited to be running with you again in a groundbreaking company, probably by far the biggest that this industry has ever seen. Thanks again for sharing.
Absolutely. Thanks, Cynthia.
Awesome, you guys. I would say this is super powerful for those of you that stuck around for the Q&A and the testimonies. Is this lighting your fire even more? Is it driving it home even more? Let's just assume this is all true because it is. And if it is, what are you sitting on? That's what we're talking about. And you're first. Who has a question for this evening, or we'll wrap it up with an additional testimony? Who would like to step out? Michelle, I'm going to call on you. If you don't mind me putting you on the spot. I just felt you, my friend. I felt you. Floor's all yours.
What Maddie had shared, and a few weeks ago, one of my kids asked if Mr. J could invent a no more annoying brother patch. Well, my kids are 13, 12, and 10, and they all use a variety of the patches. But my 10-year-old has always slept horribly. He has started using the REM patches, and now he's not kicking and punching and sleepwalking. He used to do all the things, but he would not sleep past 5:15, like clockwork. He would get up, and it's summertime, he would get up. Well, I started putting the peace patch on him at night, and not only is he getting up, it's been 4 days in a row of him getting up after 8 o'clock, which never happens. I keep checking to make sure he's okay. But also the calmness and the peace and almost getting rid of the annoying little brother. The combination has just been like a double blessing of great sleep, and then the other request from my daughter. So giving him the peace patch has made a difference in his ability to sleep longer, but also his level of less annoyance throughout the day and less bickering with the three kids throughout the day. So that was the first time he had used the peace patch. So it's really cool that he's been the past 4 days.
That's awesome. So happy little brother, happy life, right? Now, that's a great testimony we haven't heard from you yet, and you have a lot of testimonies. Can I ask you to share one more from your perspective as a teacher? Can you please share what your students are seeing with the super patches?
Sure. I have a few students that are using the focus patch, and I'm excited to go back to school with suggest for them to do the focus and the piece and see what that does as well. But one little boy, we had a meeting and he qualified for special education, and his mom was just crying, and he has ADHD and lots of other things, and she didn't want to put him on medication, but she didn't want him to get further behind, and she was just distraught. And so I was probably not supposed to, but after the meeting, I told her about the patches and recommended the focus patch because I believed it would help him as it helped my son. And so she got them. She didn't tell him what they were for. She just said, you're going to have a patch just like your teacher does. And so he put it on, not knowing. And from that day on, it was a completely different kid. And because everyone noticed, his best friend asked his mom if he could have the yellow patches like his friend because he wasn't getting in trouble anymore. And so him and another student ended up getting the patches because they saw the change in the student. And when I say night and day, I mean it was like a completely different child, wanted to be at school, sitting in the front of the classroom by request instead of asking to move to the back, answering all the questions, and just having control throughout the entire class period. It's just such joy to tell the story and to be able to see it. And then because his mom saw such a difference in him, she got the same focus patches as well, because she has ADHD as well. And then her boss asked her and said, I don't mean to be rude, or I'm just wondering what you're doing different because your focus at work and your productivity is so much different than it's been. And so her boss got the patches too. So just from this one little boy, the ripple effect of seeing what one drug-free, chemical-free, safe for kids patch can do, it's been a blessing to see and witness the changes and that ripple effect from him.
Absolutely. That's so powerful what you just shared on so many levels. We're excited for your son and getting that extra rest, sleeping well. The students that you have now, students can be very, conscious of the fact that, if they feel different, they're getting in trouble or their grades aren't the same. This is an absolute blessing, a life changer for them. And I love that you mentioned business owners, corporate America type of boss scenario, because corporate America is loving our focus patch. The productivity of their staff, of their employees, is definitely showing. So a lot of suggestions there, you guys, as you go out and know who you can share this with. You're going to touch lives from all over. Thank you, Michelle, for sharing tonight those testimonies. We appreciate you. We appreciate Bernie and Maddie for sharing tonight. Very impactful.